Welcome everybody back to Late Night Snacks. We are here to discuss the season 1 and 2 opener of American Horror Story season 10 double feature. First part being Red Tide,
Well, Red Tide's the whole series.
the
No,
whole
Red Tide
no,
is
the
first
first
part.
half. The first
Red
half.
Tide is
The first half. The episode was called
Cape Fear.
Cape
Cape
Fear
Fear. It
Okay.
was
and
the
Tail.
first episode. Episode 2 was
Episode
No, we can't hear you.
There's nothing coming out your mouth.
not write down episode 2. I should have, but I didn't. I did write down who directed and written
Well, let's introduce ourselves first.
it.
What
Can
up,
you hear
folks?
me?
Yeah.
All right. Well then I am
Well, you
going to
just sound like
say
you're in a box to me.
No, it's okay.
Very echoey.
I am one of your hosts, Irish Melly, along with the amazing that guy, the beautiful Dewanda, and the lovely, which way? This way. God, I got to get back to this. Lady Di in the house.
Before we start, happy National Dog Day, everybody. Therefore, I'm sporting the Nuka shirt, wearing Nuka's shirt. Nuka's right here sleeping, snoring as always here on the feed. So happy National Dog Day to all of our
Yay.
feline, or all of our canine friends. Happy Dog Day, Nuke. That's it. That's all. Go carry on.
Let's see. Let's say hello to everybody as we're waiting for us.
Here, yeah.
Carrie?
We got Chase is here.
Hey, Cherry.
Blaze is
Are
here.
you lonesome
Ladies, how's it going?
tonight? Did you
Frank-
miss me?
Frankie.
Hey, we didn't play the song. I didn't play that song as the opener.
Elvis?
No,
You
the
didn't
song they
say
sing
anything.
karaoke.
Oh,
I sent that to you.
I
in
have a whole
Messenger.
thing about that song. I'll tell you about it.
Okay. We have a new one, David Henry. Welcome.
What's up,
Hey,
David Henry?
David Henry. And he says he's a new sub as well. Welcome.
Nice.
Welcome to our
Steve
nonsense.
Williams, new sub here. Welcome.
Welcome to nonsense.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Julie
Welcome.
Green.
Yes. We have C. Williams.
See Williams.
Hi.
Julie
Hi.
Green as well.
Hi, Julie Green. Hi, Betty. Hi.
And
We
then,
got
of
lots
course,
of new people.
BRT, who is always
Man in the
house.
chair is here in
Debs is
person.
here. Debbie,
Deb-
Debbie in the house, peeps.
Yeah.
What up, Deb? Deb should come on. I'm sure Deb's got a
Oh,
lot to
and
say.
double feature.
Okay, y'all. Let me just tell you, for those that are new here, Debbie last night was nonstop.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Going,
God.
losing
It
her
was
damn mind.
nonstop.
I had to ignore all of her messages. I had to ignore them all. I'm like, I want to read them, but I can't read this right now.
I had to mute everything. I couldn't. I was
Yeah,
like,
me
no.
too.
She was
Debbie, we love you.
all over the place last night. It was great.
Yep.
Her and
Listen,
Gary
David
wrote
Henry says he's a huge AHS fan here. You are in the right place
You're in the
then.
right
You
place
come
then.
to the right people.
Okay, well, let's give. What are we doing here? We got 2 episodes that we want to talk about. We'll give a real brief rundown. We're not going to do a recap. We're going to do just a real brief rundown, and then we're just going to diarrhea the mouth of how we felt about the whole thing. Okay, so let me give I'll go ahead and give the brief rundown. Basic concept: the season is supposedly 2 separate stories. We've got Red Tide and we've got Death Valley. We just started Red Tide. 2 episodes we saw last night. The basic concept is a husband and wife and their young child, young daughter, go over to Provincetown for
pregnant wife.
pregnant wife. Yeah, she's pregnant. We'll get to that. But pregnant wife, they go to Provincetown to. She's going to redecorate the house that they're staying in, and he's going to write his screenplay, his inspirational screenplay, because it's pilot season, and they get there, and the town's a little old fashioned, a little freaky deaky, and they're just trying to settle in, and then all. Just like a King novel or something, hell starts breaking loose. They start seeing this creepy guy chasing them and showing up at the window. He's bald, he's got fangs, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Very pale.
And so things in town are weird. And all of a sudden, Sarah Paulson and her nasty ass shows up, and she's screaming at him, "Don't do this and don't do that." And the townsfolk are scaring the hell out of them. So you got tuberculosis scaring Sarah Paulson's character, and the weirdo freakazoid people running around. Well, long story short, they find out that this town is an inspiration for writers and artists and alike, if you have talent, you're in the right place because we're going to give you a magic pill. If the guy finds out about this magic pill called he ends up naming Muse, and we find out that Muse is a pill, a drug that basically, if you are talented, you're going to be uber talented. You're going to get all your dreams come true. If you're not talented, you become one of those freakazoids that's running around the bald freakazoids, which we'll talk about later about why I think that's so amazing what they did there. But it's sort of a take on the vampire story. It's sort of a take on The Shining, kind of all mixed in one. But it deals with art and inspiration, and are you talented or are you just seeking talent? They seeking fame. So it's a really great metaphor that they're playing with. So that's the basic concept.
Yep.
Now we'll go into what we thought and spoilers and stuff. If you've not seen it, forward.
Oh yeah, this is your time. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil it.
With the daughter too, she was also, we see that she's talented with her violin, and she wants
everybody
to still harmonic.
Well,
everybody in the cast has a potential for
she's
talent.
very intense on practicing and working just like they are with their different jobs and things.
It's important that everybody has some sort of inspiration. They have some sort of potential for talent. And the pill is kind of dividing the two: who is talented, really talented, and who is not. And we don't know if that's the true meaning of the pill, but that's what the pill is giving people.
Right. And
vampire shit is basically okay. I'll explain the metaphor before we start on spoilers. Okay, the metaphor is if the natural talented people who are going to gain money and fame and success and stuff, basically the pill is showing us that it's going to suck the life force out of everybody around you. Basically, you as your fame is going to drain everybody around you, meaning these people that take the pill, they're going to go around and suck people's blood, have to kill people to drain these people. The opposite ends, if you're not talented, it's going to suck the life force out of you. And these people just become like these zombie things. And that's a really great metaphor for art and for people who seek talent, because the people who are really, really extremely talented and really have a fame, they do artists. They do suck the life force out of people. They do take one step forward and walk all over. I mean, just like an example, like Madonna or Elvis or somebody such high thing. They suck the life force out of everybody around them because of their stature of fame. So using the vampire analogy is really, really neat on that whole aspect. I thought
the pill is cool. Like to musicians. Yep.
It's any type of talent. Yeah. It's any type of art, musicians and artists and painters.
I like what David Henry there said, though, the one you had up before. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I know that was a big, conversation in our group too. Was The Shining meeting, and I like that Salem's Lot. I really like that because I totally.
That was my problem with it from the beginning. That was my problem in the beginning until they revealed the art and an artist analogy. And I was like, once they did that, I was like, holy shit, I'm all in. But before they did that, I was like, this really is just The Shining and Salem's Lot. I was like, where is this going to go? And then all of a sudden, they threw that whole twist on it. It's all about art and inspiration, and I thought that was brilliant. So they're not even vampires. That's the thing that these turning them into whatever, either the successful or the unsuccessful. It's vampire-like qualities, but they're not vampires per se. They got to suck blood. They're killing people. They're going around, sharpening their teeth and stuff. But they don't have the regular vampire qualities. The mirror and the bats and all that crap that vampires are.
No.
Well, but hotels they declare
they even cut the same way. Francis Conroy slit the throat just like Gaga.
Oh yeah, that's why I remember this.
The way she did it, I was like, that's so Gaga right there.
But I don't think they're going to define these as vampires. I think they're defining the pill. It's art based. They're defining the pill about success and about what success does to people. I think it's going to stay that analogy.
It's a lot about social commentary because, like you were saying, you take the pill and you either become successful and a celebrity and all your dreams come true, or you become one of these bloodsuckers who just feeds off of roadkill and such.
Yeah, it sucks the life out of you.
And they even mentioned that, I believe it was Evan Peters' character, Austin Summers is, I believe, his name. And I believe he was the one who mentioned it about society weeding out different people and things like that.
And he's also talking to Finn too, saying, how much are you willing to step on people or to gain your own success? And he's like, the pill will do that for you, So it just shows how relentless. These people are, for fame and
All right,
success.
here's what
I was
B
just
has
about to say,
to
B, I love you.
say. He's like, I like the way it moved right into the meat. Oh my god, the pun of the story, rather than the slow burn for the next 4 episodes. We're like,
Did
what
you
the
think?
fuck
Well,
is
yeah,
going
it
on?
moved into it. I thought the first episode was rather slow until they killed the guy. But it was kind of
Until you got
exciting there
right
for a
towards
minute.
the
But
end of it, yeah.
yeah.
But that second episode, it was just one after another. It kind of kept picking up,
Yeah,
which
I thought it was
I
a lot
like,
though. To tell you the truth, I thought
because
the
normally
time
in
on
a
it.
season, we'd get that in like 4, like you said, 4 or
Yeah,
5
Yeah,
episodes.
it
We'd
was
get
fast,
halfway
but
through,
at the
and
same
then
time,
we
the
find
time
out what's
frame.
going on.
I thought the time frame to drop those 2 episodes with that length was a bit much. I thought it
I
was
agree. I totally
long.
agree with
It
you.
was an investment.
It made it hard to want to sit through it
Did
and just binge it. I mean, we love to binge
yeah.
this show,
Oh, I
but
I
know.
watched it like 3 settings.
I mean,
I kept
See,
doing
it
other
wasn't
stuff.
hard for me at all. I just kept going, give me more, give me more, give me more.
I
Oh yeah, see,
wanted
it was a lot.
more, but
I was
I
taking
only
a
have limited
VHS happy
time in
train.
a day to watch it. And last
I
night would have been impossible. There's no way.
Yeah,
I
it was
don't
a
know.
lot. It was a lot.
I don't know if
I
you
didn't
guys
have
are
that
aware.
trouble at all. Actually, I was like,
Not all
can
of
I
us
just
have the
say,
East Coast schedule.
Yes, not all of
Yeah,
us have.
exactly.
yes, I'm very blessed. I watched
I
it at
miss it.
7 p.m. my time. I
Yeah.
have satellite, I have the Dish Network. And so I actually watched it like at 8 to 10 because I wanted to fast forward through the commercials on the DVR.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it till today.
No,
So.
I don't know if you guys caught this, but I did, and I was very excited about it. The fact that Evan Peters is a producer this year.
And
Yes,
Sarah Paulson.
yes.
And Sarah Paulson.
Sarah's
Is an
executive
executive
producer.
producer this year.
Which
Jeb watched it 6 fucking times.
I know. Which
And
producing,
then that
is
had
great
me
for that
thinking with
producing
all
doing
the
a lot
other
of things
shit
though.
she's doing.
Yep.
Well, let's break the characters down really quick. It's tell what everybody thinks. Since
I
we're talking
had
about Sarah,
I live
let's
in the street.
let's mention
That
Sarah
is
first
what
off.
we are.
The
First
whole
off,
time
Sarah
I was
Paulson.
picturing Kathy, though. I'm like, she would have been
I know.
fucking amazing
Should've
in
been
this
amazing.
role.
But
Francis
Sarah-
was amazing.
She
Okay,
was,
let's
she
one at a
was, but
time. One at a time.
Kathy would have been fucking great.
Let's start with Sarah since we started with Sarah. One of her best roles ever. This performance is
Oh, I
fucking
know.
amazing. It's absolutely amazing. She is playing this so perfectly to where you instantly fear her and are repulsed by her, and then you realize she's the side you want to be on. You realize that
Yes.
she's the only voice of reason, and you start to feel bad for her. You know, there's that angst in her, and there's that some sort of trauma that we don't know yet. It's completely different from anything Sarah ever played. It's brilliant. I was just like, we're not
Well,
worthy.
and especially the
It's great.
scene with her and Macaulay Culkin in the second episode.
Oh,
Like where she
That
breaks
was
down
amazing.
when he pulls out that artwork. You're like,
Yeah.
oh my god! Like somebody.
The tears welling in her eyes. Just and when he gives her that compliment, she's just like, she opens up. She lets the mask down for a minute. And it's just, oh god, she's amazing.
Well, and I love that comment. You're right, because he says I bought them for $5 a piece, something like that. He said.
yeah,
At the
$5.
thrift store.
Yeah.
She says they actually
Someone
sold.
bought him. Yeah,
And she's right.
She's-
that makes her an
Yeah, Macaulay. Well, Mickey bought them.
moving
Yeah,
artist.
she was-
What do you call it?
what?
So
Assistant
just as
sold
some
artist?
really weird trivia,
It was
Island
college course or
see,
something.
we're all echoing.
Because
Yeah.
she does landscapes and whatnot, things like that.
Yeah. So let's do Sarah and Evan, since they got the top billing. Evan's character is real familiar to me. It's real
Yeah.
characters
I
that he's
like
played
it,
before.
though.
I don't think it's
I love it.
It doesn't seem like anything spectacular,
exactly.
new. It
It's
seems
not
like
Evan can
you
do
know
like
what
in
it
Cult.
felt like. It felt like when he was doing the Marvel movies and how
Yeah,
he
it
was
does.
busy. So they had
does.
him doing stuff, but it was
Yeah.
like rather blah and not as
It feels like
exciting.
Gallant. It feels like the
No,
Marvel
he's
movies. It
playing
feels
this.
like-
I love him. The chemistry with him and Francis.
No, I
Oh,
love
he's
his
great.
character. I
He's
do.
talented. There's nothing wrong with Evan. It's just it's familiar for him. It's
Yes.
very
honestly-
common for him.
I did not expect him, even though he got top billing. I didn't think he was going to be in a lot.
Oh, see, they
I didn't think she was
got
going to
top
be in a
billing.
lot either.
Well, number one, they're executive producing, so they get top billing. But also,
Right.
it looks like they're starring. They're in it. They're there. And Sarah Paulson's
Right in
character
the
looks like it's
beginning.
going to be the key to all of it.
Oh, I
So
know.
there you go.
Well, so
Then
far,
we got Francis, who trivia, if you guys don't know, Frances
knew
took
all.
over the role from Kathy. This role was written for Kathy Bates, and Kathy Bates had to bow out because of COVID and her health, and she doesn't have COVID. She bowed out because of precautions for COVID.
She's a
And
recovering.
that was one of the
breast
earliest
cancer
rumors that
survivor.
we heard about was Kathy and Macaulay Culkin having a sex scene. I wonder if that was cut. I wonder
I
if that
bet
was
that
the
was
scene we were
probably
supposed
cut.
to see from
That was
episode
the other
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy would have been all for it. I think Frances is a little bit more reserved.
Yes,
So that was
Evan was in
interesting.
WandaVision as well.
So Frances is doing a phenomenal job. Frances can do no wrong. She's doing a phenomenal job. It would be interesting to see Kathy's take on it. I kept
Can we
thinking,
talk
Kathy,
about Frances eating babies real quick?
Oh god.
Frances
Okay.
what?
Frances
That
eating
kind of got
babies
me. As
real
soon as she
quick.
brought the bag, and I'm like, please don't be a baby. Please don't be a baby. And you know, we watch with captions
Right?
on. So it's his baby crying, and I'm like,
I
no.
was like, what the fuck are we watching? I was like, oh my god.
Well, and speaking
There's
of
some
Frances,
underlying real creepy shit in this.
she mentioned something that I think might be key for later about selling her soul to the devil.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so did Austin.
Once you sell your soul, you can't get it back.
Correct.
And the girl playing the violin was playing Paganini, who they said sold his soul to the devil because he was so good.
But,
Yep.
they compared Sarah to Picasso, which is another one
Yes.
who's rumored to have supposedly.
I have this like.
I'm wondering what's going to happen when Lily takes it.
Okay, well, let's talk about Lily and I don't think she's going to. Lily and Finn. Okay, so Finn is basically the lead role in this as of
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
like our lead roles, but they didn't get
I-
top billing, which we understand. Like,
Finn's-
why?
Finn's doing an incredible job with this role. It's stronger for him. It's a more domineering role than Finn normally takes. But that transition that he made was brilliant. Was
I'm saying he
really
didn't start
great.
as the psychopath,
Mm-hmm.
where we see that a lot with
Yep.
him. He's like turning into that psychopath. You see
channeled
that
it like
look,
it.
that psychopath
Yeah.
fucking look in his eye.
Yeah, it was
Well,
it was
and
good.
he was
The
in
transition was
Ratchet, he
great.
played a crazy psychopath too.
Yeah, but he got to do the
And
transition
Dandy?
this time. With Dandy, he was already the psychopath. With Rashid, but this one he got to do the transition. He got to make the
do the
change, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was
Lily,
almost like Dr. Jekyll and Mr.
yeah,
Hyde.
yeah, it was great.
Mhm.
Very
Lily,
much so.
Lily is familiar. This is familiar for her. She's fantastic.
It
This is
felt
just
so familiar with her.
it's
She
her.
did a good job.
I
You're
felt
right.
like it was very Shelby.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I thought that going in, and I don't
Yeah.
see Shelby at all. I do not see Shelby. I think
Maybe
this is a
now
very
in the
different role
first
for Shelby.
episode,
Mhm.
and then the
First
second one
episode,
she
yeah,
started to
I
lose
totally
it.
felt
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
This
the
is a
first one
much
I
more
saw it.
mature. This is a more mature role for her. I think that her strength came from losing it. I think we're starting to see the character get stronger and not as meek and compelling to him as she's getting more pissed at this whole thing. And that's why I don't think she's going to take it. When that little girl popped off at the mouth and I'd have punched the little bitch in the throat. When that little girl popped off, that's where you really saw Lily be like, why are you being so cruel? And then that was like a light bulb that went off in her. She's like, you know what? Something's so wrong here, and I'm going to put a stop to it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
And she
I
did.
personally don't think she's going to take it.
And
I think
yeah,
she's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean, I
our-
guess
our-
we'll find out. It's
Yeah.
so like you could go. The thing
And
about
now
how
we
it
must-
ended is it could be so many different things.
And we
Well,
must
yeah, well,
we must talk about Billy Lord because hello.
okay, well, we got more people to go through. Billy Lord as the dentist.
Dr.
Well, many things she did.
Leslie Feldman.
Wait.
Dr. Feldman.
Feldman, yeah. She wasn't a dentist though. She was. What was she doing? A
She's
tattoo
like
artist?
a dental hygienist or something like that.
But she was a tattoo artist.
No, she's a dentist. She went to dental
school
school for her
She went to
parents.
dental
for her
Oh.
parents, but she does tattooing and
Tattooing,
artwork
okay.
and piercing
Okay.
for herself. That's
Yeah.
her dream.
And I think it's going to be a very small role for her, a little kind of cameo role, I think. And the teeth thing was interesting. They were actually making the fangs, but then capping the teeth with the normal teeth. Somebody please explain to me how that was going to work, because when you put caps over someone's normal teeth, it's going to look bigger. But that's
know.
to make it look normal.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway,
Well, that's a loophole. That right there
I
is a
had
black
the
gap.
hardest time watching that scene because I cannot stand
oh, so did I.
grill. Ugh.
Well, I think
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
No.
Yeah.
I can't stand
So we got
it.
Adina Porter, Adina Porter as you know, cop on the break. We already know that Dina's going to die. We saw that in the trailer. That was kind of a weird spoiler that they did. She's real passive and yet real involved. It's a weird character.
You can tell
weird.
she
She
knows
knows
more
something.
than she's
Yeah.
letting on. Her
Yeah, she
and the
knows
She
something she's
moved
going to
there
kill.
from Oakland.
grocery store owner.
Yeah.
She said she
Mikey.
moved from Oakland, and Oakland is has crazy crime.
She said 15 years Oakland PD.
Yeah. And then you got the grocery store owner, the guy who is the brother of the woman who sold or showing the house or whatever. That
The
woman
guy,
showing
the
the house.
lady who got
that
pissed
was
off when
Polk.
she said she was going to change it.
That was the real Mama Polk in
Uh-huh.
Roanoke.
Yes.
So it's
It
interesting.
was.
We have both Mama Polks on screen together. Well, not together, but in the same show.
So B thinks that Doris is going to eat the pill preggers and the baby's going to go pale too.
I don't think she's going to take the
I
pill.
don't think she's going to do it.
Here's my thing: is Lily pregnant because Lily was pregnant, or did they make that character pregnant? After
No,
They
Lily
did.
wasn't pregnant anymore when they
wasn't
started
pregnant anymore.
filming.
Then there's a reason. Then there has to be. There's no reason to make her pregnant if there's not a reason to the story. So
Well,
maybe-
it wouldn't
so
be a
we-
Salem's
we know
Lot
from
unless
the-
somebody was weird pregnant, you know? It got to be
Well,
weird
and I
Granted,
thought
pregnancies.
that's creepy.
But
we
with
know
only
from
6
the
episodes,
trailer that
there's
something's
means
going
something.
to happen during her childbirth.
There's only
The
6
reason-
episodes.
The reason I
So
thought of that
there's
is
gotta be
because
something.
Frances likes to snack on babies.
Mhm.
Notice.
Ooh.
Yeah. See?
Maybe she
Well,
forces
what,
the baby.
what I
Ooh.
kept getting from the very first episode when we first see, and I forget his name, isn't it Spencer Novich?
For who?
Novich, the contortionist. That's the,
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
pale creature that we see that's following them from the
Yes.
cemetery.
The one that
Yeah.
got killed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and from the instant that we have all of it, I don't think that's the one he killed, but from the instant that we have all of that, I just kept getting these vibes where I felt like they smell something about her because you saw them all like lift up and like
Well, Finn
when
had
she
taken the
walked
pill.
by. So it's
They
like
smelled
they
the
didn't-
pill in
right.
him.
They didn't take the pill, but there's something about her, I think, because of the baby with, a new fresh.
Or maybe she has Lyme
And
disease
she had
wait,
the
what's about that?
obsessed with that.
Well, wait, I'd have to go back
And
and
it's
watch that.
neurological.
Okay, we
I need to
can't
go back and
talk
watch that. Is it
about-
because
we
wait,
can't talk over each other.
we had when they confronted Finn after he had taken the pill, they backed off. So the pill sense made them back off. How did they react to Lily at the end? Did they back off too, or were they backing off from the girl?
It stopped. We don't know.
I think they were supporting the little girl. Like
Yeah.
she's one of us.
Yeah, so I don't think their interaction with Lily we know yet. From anything, the girl may protect the mother or something. I don't think we know yet.
Right before the end part, when they had shown all 3 of them and they were doing like that montage, it looked like Lily had taken the pill, and someone else pointed that out to me, and they were right because she was working maniacally and just manically on finding the
I think
right
it's just-
place to the wall, and I think she's just doing her job. But the way they cut it together,
I think it has. Okay, let's talk about the.
taking it.
I wanted to talk about that, and we're actually getting to that sooner. Is first off, did anybody catch all the red in that first episode? The
Yeah.
in your face red. That was on purpose. There's
The
something
light
about that
was
red.
the first
Kind
one
of
we
the
saw.
lights, the violin case. There was a couple other instances where they
Because
were like,
blood-
"There's nothing red in the room," and then all of a sudden, this red pops.
Blood,
It's very
red
Sixth
tide,
Sense.
blood.
It's very, very Sixth Sense, though. That was put there for a reason. Every time she played the violin, they showed that red case, and that's when Lily was going frantic. That's when Finn was going frantic writing. So something about that music or something is creating that tension in the room that's causing
She
them to
also
go
said
frantic.
she wanted a meat. She was craving meat when he went to the
Mhm.
news for the first time. Bring her home a steak.
Mhm.
Steak or,
And she
or
threw up.
or a burger. Yeah. This
Oh,
is
it's
actually good.
the-
Yeah, maybe the pills are made with some sort of tick DNA the wife kept taking. For
Yeah,
the
what I see.
disease.
The Lyme disease has to
Yeah.
be a part because they just
Yeah.
they beat that shit over the head. I mean, it
They
was
did, and
enough. I
even-
was tired of hearing about it.
Even
It was
after
just
she
like-
got sick, when she couldn't go to dinner with him when he first met Austin and Belle,
Everything was about Lyme disease.
she was researching Lyme disease because it was like she thought that's what was making her
But
sick.
is that going to be a plot point to this whole story, or is that just a character trait?
Is that just
I
showing her
wonder.
that she's
It's
obsessive?
just she's manic about that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Also,
know.
because the deer and the deer that was dead, and deers carry ticks.
Right.
That
She
set her
made a
off.
reference to everything carried ticks. I mean, everything was carrying ticks.
But it
She was able
started
to
when they
identify.
found the roadkill.
She
So
she
see,
said
I think
that
it's more
area.
manic.
that in that area there was a lot of it, and
Yeah,
you could get
and, so,
it.
and she would have to be so focused on that her life instead of just going there seeing that roadkill. I mean, this has to be something in her that's so she's so worried about all
She's
the
paranoid
time.
about leaving the city. She's afraid of
Yeah.
things that are not in New York City that are more.
Yeah, but they did a lot with the Lyme disease, so it's got to play in some of
Yeah,
that.
I mean, and it's
Yeah.
and it has a lot of neurological
You're right. It's
problems,
very
makes you
neurological.
nausea,
I was like,
makes you
oh,
exhausted.
She's like, cover up, we're going to get a tick. I was like, oh, honey.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I think Finn's going to give Francis the baby as the
Ew.
ultimate
You
sacrifice.
might be right. You could very well be right.
God,
Yeah,
this is horrible.
think the pills have
But
anything.
why would Finn give Francis the baby instead of keep the baby? Well, maybe he didn't want to kill his own baby, but
Well,
they're
little girl
Because he's
eating
all
it.
messed up and he's not himself,
Okay.
just like Jack.
See, that's what they see. I think Finn is insignificant. I don't think he's going to be the one making like all these big, huge moves. It's going to be somebody.
He's a puppet.
Sarah.
He might be someone we've never seen yet.
Yeah, somebody we haven't
He's
seen
a
yet.
puppet right now.
Something. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
we
That's
know
what I
of the
think.
chemist, but we heard about the chemist in episode 2 when he explained the pills.
Mhm, the pills.
But we still have yet to see Angelica pop up yet as the chemist.
Angelica.
Can you highlight B's comment about the red lights?
Well, so that's what I was talking about. The red. It's like it's so Sixth Sense. You know, when Nite did that in Sixth Sense, it was following the exact same pattern, and it was only the first episode where it was really prominent like that, and it was like red, boom, and I was trying to pay attention to what was happening in the room at that moment in the red because it's going to be watch. You're going to go after this is done. You're going to go back and see what the red meant.
Well, B was saying
it was
that
very deliberate.
After Belle fed, she turned the light off, so it's almost like the red means bring me blood. And when they're fed, they turn it off.
I almost think though it's a Nite that like kind of like an inspiration from M. Night that the red is that's part of the delusion, that's part of the hallucination,
we're
that's
open
part
for
of the
business,
death.
now we're closed.
I don't think it's as literal as that. I think it's going to be like every time the red was shown, that's when a dead person was there, or that's when a hallucination was happening, or something. I think it's going to be one of those type of twists.
Something more psychological.
Yeah, exactly, more psychological.
Adam thinks
because it was exactly like that.
The main character, but I don't know.
I agree. I don't know if she'll be a main character. I think she's going to be more of a character because I think she's going to show up in town, and I think he's going to be.
She does. She's been with Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, we know because Macaulay's now took the pill and writing.
We didn't talk about Leslie. We forgot to mention Leslie. I'm not a big Leslie Grossman fan. I'm not. I think she's very one note until now. This was a great role for her. This seems tailor-made written for her. I think she's absolutely amazing in this role. Just all the cussing and the fast mouth, the very New York kind of sense to her. It was great, really good.
Debbie noticed that Ursula had the big pointy shoulder pads like the pale people.
Because I know exactly what you're talking about. I noticed that that's when she calls him back and she's like, "Where have you been hiding this fucking gold for, this long?" She had her jacket over her shoulders, but not her arms through it, so it made them more pointed. And it did. It looked very much like the pale people's jackets and the way they were wearing.
Well, we're going to see some of them become the pale people. I'm sure we're going to get a backstory on that because, like Macaulay Culkin or somebody's going to become one of those things. At the
end of the second episode, I was like, when she's looking for the little girl, I'm like, watch the little girl have no talent, and she's out there as a pale person now. And that's what the thing is like everybody we had seen set this up and take this pill was suddenly having some type of success or fame. We have yet to see someone, we've seen what they can become, but we have yet to see someone transform into that, like how that transition happens.
And I think the big leading question that they've left us with these first two episodes is, why is Sarah so traumatized by all of this? How did she become the in-between person from this? How does she become protected from them? What's her backstory to why we're on her side? I think she's the key to all this, to explaining all this. And she's so frightened about everything, but she's so knowledgeable about what's going on.
Let's clear this up real quick because I noticed in the comments they're talking a lot about it. So, like they said, the writers, Belle and Austin said they come up there for that 3 months in the winter, but the summertime they don't take the pills and everything. So let's clear that up because I think there's some confusion. When they don't take the pills, they don't need to feed.
Yeah,
correct.
But when they do take the pills, they do need to feed. But I
But
thought
there's
they
a
said
contradiction
something
there.
about always have that insatiable thirst, regardless of
Correct.
taking the pills or
They
not.
did say that.
But if they
They did
don't
say
take
that,
the pills,
and
their success doesn't continue.
but yeah, they said it's because of the success. They said once you taste the success, you will always want it. You will never be able to live without it. And so that's the kind of contradiction about the pills. Like, you don't have to take the pill, but you're not going to have the success without it. And if you don't have the success, then you're going to want to take the pill. So I thought that was kind of a contradiction.
Yeah, a play on like the Matrix. You know, go down the rabbit hole with me. Do you take the red pill? Do you take the blue
Here's
pill?
another thing I'm wondering about, because Frances is talking in the car and she says there's certain things that you have to remember. Never feed on anyone from P-Town. Okay?
Which now did she
Because
say
of the cop,
from
because of
P-Town
Adina.
in
Yeah.
P-Town?
However, no,
In
never
P-Town,
feed on any
because
in
of
P-Town.
Adina.
And the other thing she
That's
said
what I
was,
thought she said.
and the other thing she said was, never take off your gloves.
Yes.
Correct.
Because I was confused by that, and I mean, I rushed watched this, you know,
I just assumed
right
fingerprints.
before we're going on now, but I couldn't remember if Frances had told Finn, you know, you don't get people
What's
from
up, baby?
P-Town, or you don't get people in P-Town, or would it just be the same? Because
In.
then when we see Finn running at the dock and he goes to the Dick dock,
Yeah.
he gets that guy under the dock. Now where he's running, that's still in P-Town.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
he made the mistake.
So what I
Yeah,
was
that's the
curious, is there
mistake.
going to be some kind of punishment from like Belle and Austin or something,
Yeah.
or
It has.
because Adina's
She
gonna find
said.
something?
She said it's because of Adina's character. She said
'Cause he
you
didn't
can't
have
do anything
gloves
from P-Town now because the old sheriff used to dismiss this, but this new bitch, she's crazy and she's she's too involved. That's what they said. So that's why I think she's going to come involved in this, because Finn made that mistake, and Finn got somebody from P-Town, and we all know the Adina's character is going to get
even
killed.
though he thought he was an undesirable, he still got someone in P-Town. You're not supposed to do that. So
Right.
Correct.
He still has to investigate a murder now.
Yeah, now Diane's right. Now there's an investigation. That's what they were trying to avoid. They were trying to avoid anybody looking at this mess.
And I might have missed this. Adam wonders how Ursula and Mickey will meet. I believe it's because Mickey has now taken the pill and he's writing screenplays, and he's going to send it to her, or now because he's part of the Black Pill Muse family, they all kind of take care of each other.
I don't remember him getting the inspiration.
No, he took it and he started writing it.
And then they showed him
playing the violin.
Oh, they did. Okay, I missed that then.
Because he was
that
with
montage time.
Yeah, he's with Karen, and Karen's like, "You can't do it. You can't do it." And he's like, "I don't really care."
I thought that might happen too, is that he was going to be the one that didn't have talent. We're going to see him transition into this pale person. But then I thought, but it's Macaulay Culkin. Everybody's been like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to see what he's going to do in the show." And we know he's a big role in this season.
But
I think he's
I have a feeling he's going to turn into a pale person. I really do.
But if he's already got the inspiration, then it would be a contradiction.
He was writing too furiously.
Yeah. I think.
But that's what I'm saying.
Something...
We haven't seen it yet, and we don't know if it's a quick transition or if they get a little bit of inspiration.
I didn't even catch it.
And then they get nothing, because they didn't talk about it that way. So we haven't.
But it did show him with Ursula walking on the beach, and he was all dressed up like a pimp.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So the pill worked for him, obviously. Now I think there is going to be a change in Macaulay Culkin somehow, and I think that change is going to come because of Karen. Karen's going to do, because we know they have this connection now. We know that there's this built trust, and there's this built something. So I think whatever bad is going to happen to Macaulay Culkin is not really good. Whatever bad is going to happen to him, I think Karen's our key to understanding that.
I don't remember whether Finn was wearing gloves when he killed the guy at the dock. I don't think he was.
Oh, yeah, that's a good thing.
Oh, I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I don't think he was.
Then he made two mistakes. Then he told both of them.
Right.
So
that's where I think I remembered that, because the first thing I thought was, wait, he's running, and he's running, if he's running somewhere, he's close to home, which means he's getting somebody in town. And then I remember seeing the switchblade flip up, and he might have had gloves on, but I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
I think that's going to be part of the problem. That was the first thing I thought, was we're going to have problems.
That's interesting. They made two rules and he broke both of them.
And I wonder if now they're going to get him for it.
Maybe
that's what I think. That's what I think. I think he's disposable. I really do. I think he's a puppet. I think he's disposable, and I think the little girl is more of a key than Finn or Lily
I
is.
totally agree.
And I think Lily's going to fight for her kid.
Yeah, that's why I don't think she's going to take the pill.
Kids, because they're going to eat that baby.
No, stop.
I think Lily's gonna fight for her kid, but I don't think that Lily has as much artistic ability as her.
Oh,
daughter.
she doesn't. That's clear. I
Well,
think Lily would be the unartistic one.
What if that's how Lily ends up taking this pill is to save her daughter or to be?
It might. Yeah,
She
it might. I just see her as that last standing kind of heroine. Just
And
not.
you know what?
But it might
Actually,
see more Sarah being that character.
I don't think she'll take the pill to save her daughter. I think she's going to do it to prove her greatness, kind of like the daughter when the daughter lectured her and gave her all of that. And like Mike, when you pointed it out, she was heartbroken, and I think
it crushed her.
It shows immense acting, and it shows Lily's talent.
Yeah,
right?
she's so amazing.
But
But see, with that conversation,
I heard that, and knowing she's a newer mom too, that would have broken my heart. Thinking, God, my child could one day say this to me.
But that was the point. And I thought that they wrote it perfectly and Lily played it perfectly. Is I think she was crushed not because of the talent thing. She was crushed because she heard it from her child, and that made her a bad mother. Not about
she called her an ordinary mom that anybody could have done her job.
Yeah, and that was Lily's number one, being a good mother. Because she even said, "Aren't I a talented mother? Aren't I a fantastic mother?" And he slapped her down.
Adam thinks that Alma's going to kill Chief Burleson.
Who the fuck's Alma?
Alma's the daughter.
Little girl.
Okay, I don't have names down yet.
Oh, and I noticed because we watched with the captions on. Lily called her at the beginning. They only said it one time. Almadine.
Almadude.
So Almadine.
Almadine is her name.
Yeah.
I think that child's evil. That child's an evil thing.
Well, she's not a Stephen King unless there's an evil child.
At the end.
It was all Walking Dead at the end. That was
thank you. Sue Williams says they love this channel.
Cut her head off.
Love this channel already. Thank you. Thank you.
We love you back.
So that's interesting because someone said that Sarah's going to take the pill at the end.
No,
I don't think so.
No,
I'm just reading the comments.
Yeah, I think Sarah's, if anything, Sarah's going to be the key to the twist of some sort. I thought. See, okay, let's ask that. Now that we've seen 2 and some odd hours of it so far,
there it is.
Now, what are our predictions for the 2 parts?
There needs to be a shirt. Yes. Who the fuck is Alma?
That's right. Who the fuck? Who said that?
Alma was also Kit's wife.
When we start making our merch, that'll be one of our first shirts. Who the fuck is
I have
Alma?
one every season. I say something stupid every season. Come on now. Roll with it. Just roll with it. Make the shirts. I'll buy one.
I guess that pretty much wraps up those 2 episodes then, because like we said, that's how it ends. Well,
see, that's why I want to ask everybody. I want to ask now that we've seen.
What do you guys think is coming?
What do we think about the 2 parts now? What are our predictions of the 2 parts? Because I actually left out of there. My predictions completely shot out the window. I actually left out of there thinking maybe they're not connected. Maybe this really is a double feature. Because first off, and I'll make why I say that. First off, when they did the beginning credits, which were terrible by the way, but when they did the beginning credits, they build this as Red Tide, not as double feature. So this one movie or one section is called Red Tide. It wasn't titled Part 1; it was titled Red Tide, and then they're going to title the other one Death Valley. So you do have 2 movies or 2 series. Just like the old 50s, drive-ins that you have Frankenstein and the thing. I don't think it's right now. I don't see how they connect. My whole writer's theory and blah blah blah. This show, I don't see that being.
You don't think that maybe Finn's writing what the story's?
No, I don't. I don't see that anymore because I don't think Finn's writing significant. What if the pill is significant, not Finn's writing?
Because we've kind of been told a little bit about Finn, but what if it ends up being
it would
Mickey?
Be more that would
whoever
be more realistic
survived this nightmare?
That's true. White Bear. They use the asylum
story that we're hearing.
It would be a different twist on that same.
They used the asylum theme. Yes, they did.
Did they? When?
In the beginning.
Oh, the opening credits. I thought these were the worst credits ever. Oh god, they were horrible.
They used the asylum theme.
Ugh.
In the opening credit.
There was they weren't even
Oh,
they're gross.
Do
It was
Adam's
gross.
Adam's
Well,
comment.
I think that's telling us what to expect. I think we can expect a lot of blood and gore this season.
All I got was meat out of that, and the only thing that was new and enlightening from those credits was that it was a screenwriter and not a novel writer. That was all I got from it. I thought they were uninspired.
So far,
Do you think the chemist links them together?
Well, the chemist is obviously we don't know much about the chemist.
No. I just said this story is so involved in this Provincetown and this this metaphor for fame and this metaphor for drug addiction and then we've got all this vampire stuff going. I think this contained story is so complicated to connect it to a 4-part thing. I could be wrong. I was all gung ho about the whole connection.
do you think
thing.
the chemist could be the person that signed you up to sell your soul to the devil?
If it said part 1.
But maybe it's not the
but it did
devil
say
you're
part
selling
1.
the soul to. Maybe it's the fucking aliens.
They left it so open. It could go anywhere. It could go crazy, Bilbo batshit crazy, or it could go, oh yeah, this guy was writing his novel and then he woke up the next day and that's what he fucking wrote. I think
there's a lot of keys in that promotional teaser that we got, the first promotional teaser with the alien and the vampire thing, because their actions with each other really, and the posters and stuff really tell a story. Oh God, if they use aliens as like, oh, we're puppeting everything, I'll be pissed.
Well, that's what it seems like Death Valley's going to be.
That's what it looks like already, yeah.
Obviously, this is so intelligent. This is one of the most intelligent things that Brad and Ryan have written in a long time. And if they cop out with that, I'll be so damn mad. I'll lose my mind.
But what if they
this
cop
guy's
out
head blow off?
Intelligently?
What if
There's
nothing intelligent about that?
Do you know how many shows do that though? Because they get so get so crazy. I've read so many books of horror movies.
That's not Ryan's problem.
Did it with it.
That's not Ryan's problem.
Yeah.
Ryan's problem is he gives his shows to somebody else after he starts them. That's Ryan's problem. He doesn't finish them. He hands them off and starts a new project. That's
we'll have to. Okay, but what are your snacks, kids?
I just ate.
I just finished dinner.
I'm doing peanut M&Ms.
Ooh, I got to do that next week.
Well, welcome all of our
new
people.
I suspect Ursula might be the chemist now. But Angelica Ross's character.
I agree with David Henry because that was the first thing I pointed out while watching it was that I can almost guarantee you for part 2 we're definitely getting new intros credits.
Yeah, we are. It's going to be Death Valley. We're getting a whole new intro, just like Stories did with our new story. And that's why I think these are 2 really distinct stories. And then calling it double feature, the first thing that reminded me of was the old drive-in stuff. You would have 2 movies that had nothing to do with each other as a double feature. They would never connect. You'd have like Frankenstein with the Harbor Valley PTA or whatever. Who knows? It was like 2 very, very distinct things.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen to the daughter now that the mom has seen her feeding on.
Kill her dead. Chop her head
off.
She won't.
It's interesting how
she saw her husband multiple times with blood on him. He tried to eat her fucking finger off, and she still stayed with the man. It was like, okay.
Well, she ain't gonna. Lily's not gonna kill the daughter. I think somebody should though. She has an evil little thing. Oh, I hate evil children.
Yeah, I mean, Angelica Ross's character is called the chemist.
The chemist. Yeah, that's the name. Yeah.
Well, that's because she created.
They talked about it already, but they said nobody knows who the chemist is or what their recipe
showed
is.
Her making
what the recipe was.
Something in a beaker.
So
interesting how in 1984 she was a nurse. And she was making stuff.
Well, they talked about Muse. It came from. It didn't come from crystal meth or something. It came from opiates. They did the stair steps.
It was opiates, and they wanted that meth high off of it.
Yeah, they went from meth to opiates. I think what he said. To heroin, and this was created from that.
I think that's because right now, especially there's a show on Stars called P-Town, and it's all about everybody in the town being there. It's like Cape Cod is like a huge opioid crisis. It's Ryan bringing the normal, the stuff that's happening in the world,
the horror story
into America.
Where's Debbie? Because what was that damn story about the big, tall, lanky thing in P-Town that was the old urban legend to have that? Because I thought that was going to have a lot to do with this. About that big, tall. Somebody knew. I forget. My brain's about this big. Slenderman. No, not Slenderman. I forget what they called him. It's a real urban legend thing that happened in P Town. And when they first cast that guy, everybody was like looking at that story or whatever. And I was just wondering how it connected to that. I'll have to go look at it before next week and read that story
The
again.
Black Flash.
Was that it?
There it is. Yeah.
That's what Deb says.
Black
Okay.
Flash.
Yeah.
Um,
And Debbie said, you know, as for Lily, says she'll be happy when the kid is successful.
Who?
so do we want to
Lily?
give ratings for the episodes, guys?
Yeah.
Before we go, just Islands in the Stream, the name of a play, name of a book by Ernest Hemingway, authors, singing the song, written by the frickin' Bee Gees.
Mm-hmm.
No shit. For Kenny Rogers.
Well, and both of them actually really sung. Those were their singing voices. Which
I just like.
We knew Evan could sing, but
that 3 times.
we knew Evan could sing. I had not heard Frances sing before. She played it in characters really cool. I thought she did. You could tell she was uncomfortable, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a karaoke song, by the way, that Diana was talking about that they sang in episode 1. So
That was the first time you saw them after not seeing them for 2 years. Then there they are singing. I'm like,
yeah, it was great. So Dwan's asks ratings. You start, Dwan.
All right. Well, these first 2 episodes, I enjoyed these thoroughly, so I'm going to give them an 8.
Both?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm just going to combine my rating for the 2 together anyway. But yeah, I'm agreeing with you there, Dwanda. I totally think, I mean, I was looking lower, but then I thought, I like how we did get a lot of information very quickly. We weren't dragged along down the line waiting for information. So I'm going to go with you and say probably a 7.5, 8.
I'll go kind of similar, a little bit. I was not on board with the first episode. I was typical that guy, just oh god, here we go, nothing original here, and it just it kept going, and I was just like, this is Salem's Lot. This is, and then so the first episode I'll give it like 6. The second episode, when they told us all about the pill and the analogy and everything, I was so on board. I was so on this train. I give that a 9. I mean, that is original writing. That was brilliant. It really excited me. So I'm 50-50 on it.
Di, what about you?
I have not liked a premiere this much since Hotel. As far as like the first couple episodes, I'm afraid it's going to go down, unfortunately. But because Hotel was one of my favorite premiere episodes, personally, so I'm going to give it a 9 because then we can still go up.
Well, I think you're right, Diana. I do think it's going to go down from here. I think that it's only going to become like this fast like
we
ride.
have such hopes of crazy things happening. It's going to be more basic.
Yeah, it always is. It's always
that's
ABC.
why I didn't go. That's why I didn't go as high as I did, because we've done this.
Well, that's because if you take these by themselves,
I think the success of this season is going to depend on the success of this season is going to depend on. It will depend on how these two play together. And how they're handled, how the whole thing is as a double feature is handled. I think it could be absolutely brilliant. Like I said, Brad and Ryan show us all the time that they could be the top notch in TV, or they can be utter garbage. And so it depends on how they handle it.
So much time to work on this because of COVID. They had so much time.
And it's also
that's the thing. How much did they do?
Maybe it was done already. I don't know.
Had to do something. The fans were like craving this for season 10, and like you said, we waited.
But look at stories. Stories is 50-50. So they still can go 50-50.
But I think with stories, it hits a lot of different things, but it hits a lot of different fans. And like you said, 50-50. So it's for like both sides of the fandom,
But I mean, we're talking about originality and art.
But I was talking to a kid who was 18 who's never watched American Horror Stories, and they love the Rubber Woman because they'd never seen the Rubber Woman before. So I think that's what they were trying. Not even trying, but it's just. But
I have somebody in my home was the exact opposite. Julian had never seen a single episode of American Horror Story. Never even knew what it was, and he hated all that Rubber Woman stuff. He said it was absolutely the last episode. He thought it was the stupidest thing he ever watched, but the other stuff, it's one of the Farrell was almost too scary for him to watch. So it's the originality.
See, and the thing is, we're tainted.
Yeah, we are very. I'm extremely tainted.
We're desensitized, is what it is.
I'm extremely desensitized to this because it's like I look at it from knowing what these two can give us and what the talent that these two have. And then when they push out garbage, like when Apocalypse offended me so bad, I really got off the Brad and Ryan train for a long time. And they have to prove themselves to me now versus me just being, oh, Brad and Ryan. You know, I'm not an apologist to anybody, and I won't apologize for them. You know, they need to prove themselves, and they can, and that's so exciting. They can.
B's giving it a 9.4 for both.
Yeah,
All right,
and
well,
it
hey,
seems
that's
like the consensus is with us is that everybody really enjoyed these first 2 episodes.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we're
It's
getting
general consensus.
8.5. 9 was a Deb said it was a 8 and a 9. Deb's actually liked the first one better than the second one.
I like the second one
And
better
David
than
Henry liked the second one better. So did Deb's. I like them both equally.
I agree with Michael where it was like that first one. I was kind of like, I feel like this is going to be boring. It's going to drag on. We've seen this. And then it started to pick up like 3/4 of the way in and give you more information. And then it led right into 2, which gave us all that information.
Maybe that's why he did 2 episodes in the beginning.
I think so too.
It's such
and I think
a hard thing to start a story.
I do too. I think if you left it with just that premiere, just that one episode.
2 years, so we got 2 episodes.
I mean, I love that I can just keep going.
That would have been a really rough start if it was just the one, because that wasn't enough.
No.
However, that first cold open was one of the best cold opens they've ever done. That was really good. That was a really great little family moment in the car. The little thing about the whole roadkill thing, and then when it snatched the deer, I was like, "Whoa!"
It gave me a horror movie vibe.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I was calling out stuff. I'm like, that little girl's counting roadkill. She's counting roadkill.
Yeah, I was like, see,
and then
this little bitch is
enough,
already creepy in the back seat. Somebody chuck her out the window. She's already too much. Get out of here. Oh, I hate
she was
my
very
children.
creepy just in the opening. I'll agree with you.
Oh, Debs, you're right with Deb and I. Deb and I, man.
It was the 8 was an accident.
Accident.
Oh,
so I'm Debbie and I are both the same.
Who the fuck is Alma?
The daughter.
Kit's wife.
That's going to be Mike's new phrase now.
And I'm going to say Kit's wife.
Kit's wife. Yeah, that's true. It is Kit's wife.
Yeah,
that was a crazy bitch too.
Thing that got me thinking they're connected because we know the second part's going to be about Aiden.
I don't want to do connections. No.
Yeah, but I think you have to prepare yourself for that.
Unless it's for a reason.
There's so many similarities. I feel Asylum. I feel Roanoke. I feel Hotel.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No.
Bite your tongue. Curse that. Put that out in the universe.
No.
Well, I guess that's about it, folks.
I couldn't. There was too many things.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I say the problem with the first episode just screams so much familiarity. It's like we've seen this. We know what this is. And then they threw the whole writing, the great writing into it. And I was like, all right, I'm on board. Leave it original. I'll be okay. Start comparing it to everything else. I'm off.
Okay, family with daughter moving across the country. Let's count the parallels. Stories not connected.
Parallels with stories not connected.
Parallels with stories not connected.
In other words, there's more of those.
Moody daughter moving across the country. Let's not count.
Oh well, there's this.
I had never seen The Shining personally.
Really?
I have not seen The Shining. Don't forget, I became an American Horror Story person without being a horror person. Yes. I was more interested in the story.
This was very inspired from The Shining, that first episode. And extremely inspired.
My husband has seen The Shining, and I said, because he even said halfway through the thing, he turned to me and said, Jack's what is it? Jack's all work and no play makes Jack
a boy. And when
I'm is that what happened to Jack Nicholson?
Grabbed those papers, and she was like, "This is really good." I was like, "Please let it say that. Please let it say that on the paper."
Did anybody see any of the writing? I was trying to look at that, but
no. They purposely did not show you.
That makes me question the whole back thing about the
and every time they did show us his writing, though, it was just the computer screen with the cursor blank page.
It's like, okay,
that was at the very beginning, and that was at the end
was that fox? And okay, well, somebody please explain the fox.
The fox is trying to hide. The fox is going to die.
We lost him.
It was so shining. I was checking to
The
see if
fox
Finn
is
was
very
wearing the similar
symbolic.
clothes to
It has
Jack.
to be.
Yeah, it has to be. There you
Oh,
go.
StreamYard kicked me out twice.
Yeah, it's kicking me out already.
StreamYard.
Yeah, it's fucking StreamYard. No, so the fox in the beginning, the way they filmed that was really bizarre. With the fox running on the beach and
The
it
fox
kept
was
cutting
running and
back
it
and
was
forth.
trying to hide. It was trying to find a spot.
I know, but
to hide. It
I
was
started taking
digging
that
to
as
hide.
that was in Finn's mind. Is how I was starting to read it because it
Wow,
was
I didn't
filmed
think about
really,
I thought
really
Alma
weird.
was going to get it at the end.
Or
It
Alma,
scared
somebody,
me. I'm
yeah,
glad she was got a squirrel.
filmed. It was filmed so. That was another like night moment. It was filmed in such a way that made you like really stand up and notice why is
And
it doing it like
Fox
that? Why are they
buried
filming it like that?
something.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. The whole cinematography was different, just with the fox. It was almost like VCR cutting in, scenes. When we used to record shows on TV, and there would still be leftover from some show cutting in on the end or whatever. That's how this fox scene. It was totally different cinematography with that. Just that one scene, just the fox. It wasn't anything in the second episode. Nothing.
Well,
it was
it's
weird.
so early. Like think about all the other seasons. It's just
But
full of
it seems
possibility.
so intentional. It was really intentional the way it was filmed that way.
No, and
Yes.
that's what I said too.
Yes.
I called it out. I'm like, something is with that
I
fox.
thought
But then I
somebody
kept
took
saying the
it.
fox is gonna die.
I thought someone took it in the beginning, but then they showed it. C. Williams said the same thing. I thought someone snatched the fox, but then it showed it again. I thought the
then they
fox was
showed it
digging
later.
clams for the pale person, and a pale person ate him. I thought he got eaten earlier too.
Mm-mm. And I regardless if he was eating or anything, I was worried. I was talking about how it was filmed, how it looked visually. It was filmed cinematically completely different than anything else in
that's how
either
that
one of the two
first
episodes.
opening shot was filmed too, with them in the car, and then the long shot when he's looking at the deer right before they pull off. It was very cinematic like that.
Yeah, it was weird, but intentional.
Okay, so it's been almost an hour, kids.
Yay!
Some of us have to
we
go to
had
bed.
we had 2 episodes to talk about. So
Yeah, so
next
Yeah,
week
normally our shows won't be as long.
We can
They'll
talk
be a
as long as
little
people
shorter,
stay.
but we'll still talk.
Although I think almost everybody's here except for a couple who started in the beginning that we might not have said hello to.
Work, Angelica.
Well, let's say this. Welcome to all of you who are here that are new, especially if we have not said hello to you. We want to thank you for all of your likes, shares, subscribes, and your comments, because we love your comments.
Say hi,
thank you,
happy Dog Day.
Oh, Nuke is awake now.
Hi, Nook.
Does anybody else have anything to say before we wrap?
And if there's anything you guys want us to look at or follow up on, please like, subscribe, put those comments in there. Did you like it? Are we talking too much? I mean, is there anything you want us to focus on, or you just like the way that we bullshit with each other?
Thank you, Diana, for saying that. The reason why this channel is here is for conversation. We want to have people to have a conversation. So join the conversation. Comment.
We like to talk.
Cuss us out. I don't care. Say whatever you want to say. Just say something.
Crazy.
Say hello. Say something.
That's
say fuck off.
Doing.
Whatever you want to say. Just say. Like, subscribe, whatever. I don't care what you do on YouTube. Do whatever you want to do. Just join the conversation.
That's so nice. Thank you, David. David says, love the channel, guys. That's so nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
C. Williams and Chase and
Julian's here.
B and
take it off.
Say hello. We got a bunch of new people.
Say hello.
And White Bear and Cranky and.
All right. On that note, we will see you guys next week.
We love you.
No one's trolling.
Here. We will be here next
Same bat time. Oh, there you are, Julie. I think I forgot to say hello to Julie Green.
Oh, yeah,
thank you for tuning in.
Be kind to yourself and be kind to someone else, because they deserve it too.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.
Holla at your mama.